This video update brought to you by Bonafante Friction, high quality bell housings.
All right, we're joined by our number one qualifier in funny car, Ron Capps. This is Ron's 18th career number one, his third number one here at Phoenix. And Ron, after winning the season opening Winternationals, you guys come in here and take the number one spot. You guys are on quite a bit of a roll.
Yeah, it's, I've been doing this a while, so you don't want to get cocky. Certainly, we're not so naive to think that this can't keep up. You know what I mean, guys? There's too good a competition, and we'll just take it. We'll take the win, and this is a great number one qualifier. That sets us up great for Sunday. I'm so turned on as a driver by Tobler and the way he's approached different conditions for every run in Pomona and here, and to be able to step it up when he needs to and wants to. He just has a good control of the NAPA car right now, so it's great. But I know as well as anybody else in the sport, we just want to keep chugging away. The target gets a little bigger on your back, when you keep winning rounds like that, and that's okay. I mean, we love the competition, but that final round in Pomona, that was such a great race. And then I spent the off week in a Verona drag strip with Dale Worsham, who I raced in the final with my son getting his junior dragster license, and so impressed with NHRA's junior dragster program and the way that they treated my son. And we had a great time with Dell and his daughters, and all the kids up there were fantastic. It was such a great weekend. So then to come back down into to Phoenix in the Valley here and have such a great race car so far, it's a lot of fun right now. I'm enjoying this.
Kind of goes back to the finals last year. You were the number one qualifier. You guys went to the semis a little bit. I mean, everybody's talking about Tommy Johnson's run here in testing, Jack's season last year, but you guys, do you feel like you've flying under the radar or coming into this season a little bit?
I don't think anybody really is. That's how tough funny car is. We know Hagen's team, and that team is slowly, it's making little baby steps here, but they're going to be huge contenders. As all the Force cars, we saw Robert run really good, and Dell and Wilkerson. I mean, there's so many good cars. I don't even remember last year. It's funny you brought that up, but it's not necessarily that we approach every run like we're trying to sneak under the radar. We like to do that, but after winning round after round, you sort of can't do that. Right. And I just love the fact that Tobler is keeping track of how many runs down the racetrack. That's what's really in his mind right now. He's like, how many runs that is in a row? That's like 15 runs in a row, and that's, all but 2 runs in the 3-second zone. And when I hear him rattle those off, he's very proud of that. So it's such a small piece of the puzzle. I just feel like I'm so happy to be able to steer the car, get it down to that Hickman cones, and complete the cycle, I guess.
Tobler had a lot of confidence in you. He told you were number one on the starting line there, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
See what I thought.
Yeah, we're having fun right now, and I tuned in earlier watching Chase Elliott, on Fox Sports, and watched Atlanta, and that's a lot of fun watching him because he's coming in and he's got such a big target on his back, driving the 24 car. And it's almost like we're trying to keep up. He's doing his NAPA thing in NASCAR, and we just want to do as well as he's doing, and or better. And so if we can just keep doing, all the stuff that sort of is falling in line right now. And I'll tell you what's funny is DSR, you would assume all of our funny cars are so close together that on the outside you would think these cars are identical. And I know they are, and a lot of people perceive that. But to be honest with you, you couldn't have further apart tune-ups between Proc and JC and Tobler, and the way that everybody approaches it. Dickie Venables has a completely different clutch than everybody else, but what's unique is every night these guys are in there talking to each other, even though they don't even have close the setup that the other guy does, and yet we're able to communicate and make everybody better. So it's cool how everybody can arrive at that same 393s, 394s, 395s with such a different approach as far as mechanically the tune-ups are.
You do realize that by the time these kids get to the Nitro ranks, you'll be John Force's age, right?
Why do you got to bring the age up, Bobby? Why do you got to ruin a good moment? No, it's great.
I'm just saying, you'll get that chance.
Hey, there's so many of these. I'm more really enthused about the crew members being crew chiefs, these young guys working on these teams. I was at Don Perdone's for almost a decade, and the guys on my Copenhagen car back then, is now a who's who of crew chiefs, and they were just crew guys. And so I've been able to really watch a lot of guys in the sport. And Don Schumacher is really adamant about moving everybody up within the company. So is John Force putting John Schneider. That's the cool stuff that's really going to help this sport stay alive, because it's great being the drivers, and it's great, having us get out and being able to talk. But what's really cool is having this youth keep this up. The performance of the funny cars right now is unbelievable, and yet you have these young guys and these old guys battling against each other as crew chiefs, and that tells me the sport's going to be in good hands.
Well, let me rephrase that, because I wasn't really making that an age thing.
That made no sense at all.
These young guns are coming up, and when they get up here, you will be the experienced veteran that they want to be, that they want to dethrone.
Okay.
I didn't repeat myself.
No, you didn't. I don't know what you mean. Hey, I'm having more fun than I think I have, if not ever, than a long time. I'm in better shape. I feel like I'm more enthused about showing up to the racetrack every day than I ever have been, and I'm just enjoying this. This is a lot of fun right now. And Roland Leong taught me early on. He said, you're going to be careful. You're going to run these same guys going up the ladder that you're going to run in down. And I've been up and down the ladder. I've been around a while, so I know better than to get, like, hey, this is great, and we can't be touched. I know better than to get that way. So just enjoying the moment and just enjoying it now. And if we can be back on the West Coast at the end of the countdown and having the same success, then we'll have something to talk about. But right now it's early in the season, and we're just happy to, especially with Fox Sports and all the live stuff. I mean, so far it's been a pretty good omen for us right now.
Ron, did you sense you had that 92 in your last qualifying? Is that something you were thinking that might happen?
Yeah, he did. We actually thought we'd run better Q3, which was the first run today, and it slowed down to a 99. We did put a set of the new Goodyears on that are going to become mandatory to run. And he just wasn't sure where to put the clutch setup to see what those tires are going to do. Turns out they're going to be just probably close to the same, and he had backed it down for nothing. So he was real kind of not unhappy with himself, but he thought we could run better then in Q3, and that would have set us up better for now, so for the last qualifying run. So he was a little bit out of the box trying to shoot for a 91 or 92 with that 99 earlier. But he definitely, when we rolled up, he said, all right, just hang on, because we're trying to go low 90s. And he was right. It went 92. And it was a little bit of a handful out there at mid-track when it locked the clutch up. But that's in his wheelhouse, if that's what you're asking. It's certainly not out of the realm. And when he rolled up, and we figured somebody would go high 80s, to be honest with you, and he was ready for that. He had his tune-up ready to plug in if that was needed. And knowing that he had to run 91 or 92 to get past Courtney's time, and we really thought Height and Courtney behind us would go quicker than a 92, so he was ready for it. It wasn't out of his realm.
I asked Antron the question yesterday. Have you seen a season where the whole drag racing community came together more than you have seen this year?
No,
Excitement.
no. It's the 50 years of Funny Car. This is it's kind of unprecedented for me because I love the funny cars and the history of them, and I always wanted to be a funny car driver as a kid. Seeing Jeb Allen, the praying mantis on the starting line, who I had posters on my wall of, and seeing all these guys that were my heroes coming out all season long. The sport's in good hands, and it's on an upward swing right now, and it's cool to finally have it here and kind of riding the wave of live TV and all the stuff that's coming along with it. And it's just it's invigorating right now to know that everything's just getting better and better with NHRA. And when we're doing good right now, it just means more TV time for NAPA and all of our sponsors, and that makes our job easier.
Yep. Jeff Diehl tomorrow in the first round. You've won this race 3 times. Last time was in 2013. Your experience on this track, your thoughts on tomorrow's race?
Oh man, you know me. I don't. Jeff Diehl is right now. He's as good as John Force is in my eyes. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. So, the great thing is Ron Tobler is a racer, and he's not just a crew chief. So he's going to approach tomorrow and do what we need to do to beat each round. And if we need to work on lane choice, and he's going to try to approach it to beat whoever we think we might race. But that's the cool thing. I've been lucky in my career with Roland Leong and Ed McCulloch and Armstrong, and these guys I've gotten to drive for were racers. and they're not going to go out and get stupid. But we, by no means, are looking down at Jeff Diehl because this is the cool part about our sport. When I was a kid, I would cheer for the underdogs. You know, those guys are up against the big sponsored cars. And not necessarily wishing evil on anything to happen, but just, you know, sometimes you want that guy that's won a lot of rounds, the big sponsor, to be upset by the guy that looks like he hasn't had a new pair of shoes in 6 months, and all his money's going to fast food just to make it to the drag strip. And that's the heart of our sport. It always has been. So tomorrow, nobody's cheering for the underdog, but we certainly are not looking at Jeff Diehl any differently than we would anybody else.
Any other questions from the audience?